Dear netizens, this video is in response to a specific piece of recent news. I just already said it a day or two ago. It looks like a mining deal between the United States and Ukraine will be reached. Now let's say that the text has been negotiated. Zelensky may fly to Washington in the next 2 days, and Trump signed the agreement in person. Russia indeed also jumped out, donated rare earths and other resources to the United States, and Putin also briefly spoke with Xi Jinping on the phone. We put these intricate relationships and the explanation of the benefits and disadvantages for everyone to hear. Good, very. I just told you. If you have been taking NMN, this one is a Rolls-Royce first. Recently, the inventor of NMN proposed you can take 1,000 meters a day. 1,000 meters should be taken to exert adequate efficacy. This is made by FromBio, large factory. Second, a total of 57,600 liters is available in one box. It's impressive. There are 120 capsules, 8 for 4 months. Each capsule is 400 beat, high purity of 99.92%. If it weren't made right here, you can't absorb that much in one day. That's it. Be sure to add TMG to your list. Plus, resveratrol is also an antioxidant substance such as TMG plus NMN, so you can absorb a lot more NMN in a way that allows you to do so effectively and efficiently to a significant extent. There are indeed a lot more NADs. It's 3,688 for just 4 months only. 9% off first piece. The second piece is 7% off. 4 months is more than 2,700. Ukraine and the United States have reportedly reached a consensus on a critical mineral resource agreement. The text is all talk. This is the information revealed by Ukrainian officials. Trump confirmed that he has said the source. Now, like this agreement is different from the beginning. Why did Zelensky not agree to the first agreement? Because it becomes all money goes to the United States. $500 billion to US, and the United States did not give Ukraine anything at all. Finally, Zelensky, the art of the deal, after a tantrum, talked about something more reasonable, balanced, and equitable, according to the first draft of the agreement. After peace between Russia and Ukraine, establishment of a reconstruction investment fund. The United States and Ukraine adopted this fund, jointly developed the resources of Ukraine. Resources can be developed together, in addition to minerals such as including oil and gas. It will participate in investing in infrastructure and ports. Do any business. The goal is to bring Ukraine's GDP back to 2021. And that's not all. But wait, there's more to mention. Trump said, I heard that Zelensky is coming on Friday. Okay for me indeed. If he likes, he would be happy to sign this agreement with me. It's indeed a big deal. That's what Trump likes best. Trump clearly said the deal. Probably worth $1 trillion. American taxpayers will certainly get their money back. He said this forever. We spent hundreds of billions of dollars on this significant war, and indeed, this war should never happen. Okay, all right. Is this a specific detail? I'm telling you. Actually, the new agreement looks like this. Here's what the agreement looks like. The business you do now will not change at all, in any way or impact. It's indeed the mine that has already been thoroughly excavated. It's all Ukraine's own. No reduction in Ukraine's gains. Income generated from new business. Let's work together to attract investment. Do it this way. If you earn money back, that's $500 billion. 1/3 is the income of the United States. This 1/3 amount is not paid to the United States. It's the income from helping to work in the United States. So if you can't do it, not anymore. This first point is important. The second point is, that is to say, it's in exchange for something. It's an absolute guarantee of safety and security for everyone involved. What about security? What about security? The United States pledged, this is what Zelensky asked. The United States and its allies will not stop its aid to Ukraine until the peace agreement is negotiated. In other words, if Ukraine doesn't like that peace treaty, perhaps Ukraine has rejected that peace treaty. So the United States can't use methods of interdiction Starlink, methods of interdiction assistance, or not let the other countries of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization buy and sell U.S. arms supplies to Ukraine. To prevent Ukraine from continuing to fight, Ukraine has the right to continue fighting until a peace treaty that he was able to accept. This is Zelensky's request. The most important thing. That's exactly what it is. The new program establishes a joint fund. These additional resources are used for development. Ukraine accounts for 50%. This was stated by a Ukrainian official. The new agreement has improved terms. It doesn't matter. It's half of it. The European Union is also coming. It's also going to grow by 25%. Ukraine itself has 25% left. The results are more positive. Oil and gas that are already being extracted, unconstrained. Previous income is guaranteed. U.S. shareholding and ownership arrangements in pooled funds, such as mutual funds, decide later on in the future. It's indeed a framework. The new agreement does not contain the security clauses demanded by Ukraine. This issue was discussed at the meeting between Zelensky and Trump. Actually, there is a framework. There is still a little bit of undecided business. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to formally request assistance from former U.S. President Donald Trump during their upcoming meeting, put the necessary appropriation that Biden promised. And the money not yet allocated keeps being given to him. That's the first point. The second point is Trump can't intimidate at all in any way. Broken Starlink or broken aid. Use this to force Zelensky to make peace. And then Zelensky had this document. He has the courage to refuse some unreasonable conditions. He also called on the EU to buy more arms from the United States with more money. Actually, that's exactly what it is. Can continue to support the war. If the conditions are not satisfactory, okay, all right, that's it. He just came to see Trump in person. It is also a very successful thing to do diplomatically because he has never had the opportunity to participate in negotiations. He met Trump. Trump can't refuse his views on negotiations. This was a diplomatic victory for him. Due to Trump's previous derogatory remarks and insults directed towards him, along with other related issues and ongoing tensions, the situation has become increasingly complex and challenging. Two people meet. Trump is indeed thick-skinned, and as if nothing had happened. Zelensky can also be taken as nothing in the grand scheme of things. Do you know, perhaps, so many nasty things were said, especially Trump. He insulted Zelensky like this. Zelensky's emotional intelligence is very high. I'll come to you. The Ukrainian parliament passed a bill on the 25th. In wartime conditions such as the Constitution does not allow elections be held. I really want to absolutely condemn my idol. What Musk said was completely irresponsible. Approximately 20% of the land is occupied. Approximately 20% of nationals have fled the country as refugees. People are on the move. How will the election be conducted? Congress issued a statement. Ukraine is guaranteed a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace. Elections are held in Congress. Zelensky is an elected president. The populace and Congress did not question his legitimacy. Before the inauguration of the new president, Zelensky must follow the provisions of the Constitution, continue exercise your powers. It was indeed a slap in the face to Musk and Trump. Musk and Trump certainly and undoubtedly fully accept Russia's claims. They fully believe the Russian version. That is to say, Zelensky has only 4% popularity. Okay, all right. Putin within 2 hours of Trump proposing a major economic deal. Say it right away. He certainly utilized these to coax Trump once more. The Russian side is ready to propose joint projects to American partners, including government agencies and interested businesses can participate. Trump indeed gave Russia a very significantly big gift to the country. Now indeed, Russia is returning the gift to Trump. What gift did Trump give to Russia? The first step is simply to vote for the name. Vote on the United Nations Parliament. Do not call Russia an aggressor. In other words, not an aggressor. You can't hold Russia accountable for the post-war era. Why is this so important? That is, the United States agreed that it would not hold Russia accountable after the war. Then he assisted Putin in various ways to break his isolation from sanctions. Biden said he would make Putin a pariah in the international community. No one would contact him. Trump broke the matter for him. Trump also discussed in detail the issue of land cession in his speech, as well as promised Ukraine not to join NATO. Almost everything that Russia wants to achieve has been achieved. He immediately offered something to coax Trump. Afraid that Trump will be deceived by Ukrainian resources? Trump won't be tough as long as he gets the benefits. It turned out that Ukraine would not be pressured to make peace with him. Russia has the fifth largest reserves of rare earth metals in the world, estimated at 3.8 million tons. Second only to China, Brazil, India, and Australia. I don't know why it's so nervous. There are many more places to have. China has, Brazil is a lot, India, Australia. Let's indeed go to the most inhabited and desolate Australia. Why are you nervous about rare earths? One of the rare earths, such as neodymium, is used to make permanent magnets. Today's permanent magnets have rare earth components in them, such as neodymium and samarium. Even the United States recently had an advanced F-35. It was also discovered that it has a part with additional information. Those magnets are from China. China monopolized everything. It can be used in electric vehicles, mobile phones, missile series, and other electronic devices. Russia is much more than Ukraine. There is no concern about a possible rare earth cooperation agreement between the United States and Ukraine. He even proposed extending cooperation in rare earth exploration to Russia. Mineral deposits, eastern Ukrainian regions controlled after 3 years. I tell you, it's really funny. Approximately 40% of those rare earths are in the Russian-controlled territory of Ukraine. If Ukraine potentially signs a rare earth agreement with the United States, in that case, at the time of indeed peacemaking, the U.S. must demand that Russia recognize the rare earths deal. It can mine rare earths in the Russian-occupied territories. Putin will most likely definitely agree. But to draw, for example, take 20% needed to extract profits, most likely, probably, does not significantly affect price formation. However, it will have some inhibitory effect on prices. If you need to, I'll sell you aluminum cheaper. Used to suppress inflation in the United States. That's Trump. They're talking. Now the world talks to Trump about diplomacy. It's all about business. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? He now proposes a plan in Siberia. Joint development of hydropower and aluminum production projects. This is where Rusal headquarters are located. The production of aluminum. Why does Canada produce aluminum? In fact, aluminum actually uses a lot of electricity. And ideally, preferably next to a hydropower project. The joint project is estimated at $15 billion. Russian and American companies have already begun to approach, but no details were disclosed. Putin emphasized in a speech in the Kremlin, the rare earth industry is crucial for Russia to become more competitive. Priority development. He will improve the rare earth industry chain. Mining, refining, production. Very important. Rare earths are not such a rare mineral, and fundamentally, it can be reused in its design and structure. But mining is indeed very polluting. Refining is indeed very polluting. Production will multiply. Other than that, he's absolutely totally hating Trump. Trump said, China, Russia, and the United States discussed reducing the defense budget. Let's cut together. Half of the defense budget each. Russia is not against it, of course. It is indeed the poorest one. Someone else is in charge of the chickens. It is possible to make it bankrupt. The Russian side includes the termination of cooperation with China on sensitive and military projects. Leverage for peace, Russia and Ukraine, according to the Wall Street Journal. I don't really believe it at all. It's impossible. Russia does not promise you anything at all. If it says yes to you, you also don't know if it will be executed. On February 24th, the two of them spoke on the phone. Because Putin and Trump have just recently finished the phone call, Russia, United States discussed it. He must tell Xi Jinping. Tell Xi Jinping that I didn't betray you. What am I talking to him about behind the scenes? China and Russia are good neighbors that cannot be moved away. You can't move it. Everyone's land is connected. Whether it is a good neighbor is another matter. Often come to hit you that someone who encroaches on your home's things, is that a good neighbor? A true friend who shares weal and woe, supports each other, and develops together. This is a true friend. America, those are friends of wine and meat. After Trump took office in January 2017, the second phone call between Xi Jinping and Putin, and not long after the talks in Saudi Arabia. Xi Jinping said the situation is subject to change. Sino-Russian relations will move forward calmly. It will not be affected by U.S.-Russia ties. The Kremlin emphasized, be sure to return your whole cards to China. Avoid misunderstandings. Russian-Chinese diplomatic relations. It is the most important stabilizing factor in international relations. There is strategic value, not against anyone. Don't offend the United States. But the two of them were holding tightly. So it's called reverse Nixon. What big chests are those people? Russia resists China. It's nonsense. You can't break up Russia and China at all. The two of them understand it very well. Be sure to rely on each other. Wang Yi said back to back, and then you can survive. This is reported by the Wall Street Journal. Beijing is worried about Trump's seizure of Putin. Fears could evolve into a reverse Nixon strategy. Divorce from Sino-Russian relations. Although there are concerns about the reverse Nixon, but Russia's economy is highly dependent on China. This asymmetrical relationship, there is no way for Russia to alienate China. I tell you about the Russian and China. The economic aspect is still secondary. 2024, Chinese trade value in 2024, more than $240 billion. China accounts for a third of Russia's trade turnover, and Russia accounts for a very small part of China's trade. Russia does business internationally. A third of it was done with China. Why? One of them, China is economically important for Russia because it has a lot of oil, the only reasonable object for sale in Siberia. It's just China. What else do you have to sell? Are you selling to Southeast Asia? Southeast Asia has its own oil production. And then there's the Middle East. Siberian oil could not be sold to Europe. Only one country buys. It's also not good for you to ship to India. At the same time, China provides electronic products, machinery and equipment, and so on. Support for materials produced by the Russian military industry. This is what only came after the start of the Russian-Ukrainian war. Before...